Serie, our world.
Hello. You alright?
Hi, how are you? How are you, man? Yesterday, I think we need to talk. It feels like a gut punch. I still haven't got up from.
I think, well, I will keep it not too adult, shall we say, of what I'm thinking. But, yeah. Do you want me
Friendly for all the young children that listen to an Italian football podcast, yeah?
For people, I think for the world, they don't want to know what I really think in terms. But, yeah, I mean, do you want me to start straight away? Or?
Please do, yeah, go on.
Okay, well, let's start with the first half anyway. I mean, did they even show up? It was, yeah, they did exactly the opposite of what I was wanting them to do. But it was also one of those things that you can expect from Italy to do against Spain sometimes. I don't know why. Sometimes they seem to go straight at them, pressure them, attack them, and they seem to do really well when they do that. The other times, they decide to sit back, give them too much respect, and then they can't get going. And that's exactly what they did from the beginning. And I felt, especially in the first half, DeMarco and Di Lorenzo were terrible, absolutely useless. Especially Di Lorenzo was getting done every single time by Nico Williams. So, yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums the first half up for me. It was just really bad, and down the wings on our fullbacks, they were just going around them like they were nothing. They weren't doing anything, weren't attacking too much. And, yeah, I mean, what about you? What did you reckon in the first half?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it was just an onslaught, wasn't it? And Nico Williams was just charging down that side.
Yeah.
Di Lorenzo being made to look like a little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking this is all wrong. A lot of people I've been reading since then are like, he was 0 out of 10. We should have left him home, etc. I think he is a good player. He can do a good job, but I think just in that situation, in that position against that opposition was, totally wrong. And I don't know what Spalletti had seen in training to make him think that.
Well, I mean, normally he is reliable. I mean, in the second half he did do better, and he made up for it in a sense, but that doesn't matter. I mean, the best bit for me about the first half was that it was 0-0 at half time. Do you know what I mean? That they hadn't conceded. I mean, the second half started with another Euros record, 2 games, 2 records. This time a quickest yellow for Cristante. He got booked after 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What a joke. Bring him on and he straight away gets a yellow and puts himself under pressure. And then, I mean, if you step back from the game itself, I felt that though Spain dominated in terms of the possession, I mean, most of their efforts were long range. And they weren't really too much hassle. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, again, I think Italy, they made them look better and good. I'm not saying Spain aren't good. Spain are a good team. But I don't think they went in with the right attitude. And, I mean, they grew by the end of the second half, they were doing what they should have been doing from the beginning. They started passing the ball around, moving it around, moving Spain to the left, to the right, moving them around, getting forward, and actually making up for it. I mean, it got to the end, and you thought, do you know what? We could even steal a goal here. But it was too little, too late, and all that. Unfortunately, as we know, a cross. Donnarumma went to push it out, and he pushed it right into the legs of Calafiori, who ended up putting it into his own net. Can't blame him for it. He couldn't adjust his feet in time, and it's hit him and gone in. And Cambiasso also made a clearance off the line not long after. But as I say, they showed they were capable of doing it, but they didn't do it from beginning to end. And it just really annoyed me. Just really annoyed me. It was the attitude more than anything. I know people from maybe the outside who don't see these players who play for Italy all the time just think, yeah, whatever, excuses. But I mean, if you watch these players week in, week out, we know their capabilities, we know their potential, we know that they're stronger than they showed, much stronger, and that's what really annoyed me. I mean, I think they need to really regroup and look forward now. They need to forget that game. I reckon Spalletti's going to probably move towards more starting the team that ended the game for the Croatia game. Well, you'd think that would be his way he'd look at it.
Exactly, because I think they definitely changed the game, and you could tell they had a big impact on it.
Yeah.
So it's like the last 20 minutes of that second half.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they made a big impact. I did see what Spalletti said after. He was talking about how the physical preparation was wrong. I think he'd pushed them too hard, he thought, and only left them with a day of rest. He thinks that maybe he should have let them have a little bit more, and maybe they'd have been more really for that game.
I mean, they were saying that when they were not playing well in the friendlies just before the tournament as well. So, I mean, how much, do you know what I mean? How many times is that going to be used? We can't say that. So, from now on, he needs to prove that if that's the case that he's saying that, let's see what happens from now on, because in the end of the day, we're still in it. That's the main thing we've got to take from this. We're still in it, and it's in our hands to qualify. But so far in the tournament, I think Italy have been very underwhelming, and they've not shown anywhere near what they can do and what they're capable of.
Exactly, and I mean, I think if it wasn't for Donnarumma's brilliant performance in that game, I think they could have lost 3-0, 4-0.
Yeah, he was the best. He was the best player easily.
It could have been a humiliation rather than it was just 1-0 from an own goal. I think that helps with the mental side of things for the next game. Yeah. They can say to the team, look, you didn't get obliterated. It was an own goal. Could have been a different score on a different day. But he made it look so different. He was great, and I think it rules out any conversations about should he be Italy's number one, should it be someone else. I think that just sealed it there. I saw at the end of the game there's an interview with Costa Curta, and he actually said, I think he was talking to, when they talk to the captain or they talk to certain players in the team, there was a direct feed to Donnarumma, and he started with, "You're the best goalkeeper in the world." Let me just tell you that. And then he started to talk to him. But I kind of agree after seeing that. I think if it was another keeper from any of the other teams, they would have let in more than one goal. For sure. So that's one great thing, but we shouldn't have to rely on that for the next game or any other game after. I mean, speaking of the other goalies, there was no test. He hardly was tested, and also he had a taped up wrist, and he was barely. I think was that one shot on goal. I can't remember how many were there.
To be honest, I don't know. I was so annoyed. I was just annoyed from beginning to end. Pretty sure
it was just one.
Yeah, even from the start, I could just see that they sat back straight away, and I knew that was going to be the mentality for the rest of the game, and that's what annoyed me. They couldn't even string a couple of passes together. Do you know what I mean? They made themselves look so pathetic in that game, and it's embarrassing, really.
Yeah, I do feel bad for them in the sense that selecting the team. It was such a last-minute thing, getting this set of players together. They've not really played many games together. Spalletti's been in charge, is it 10 months or something?
Under a year, yeah.
I feel bad for them on that side of things. And you're asking them, right, we're here at a tournament now, gel together, go. I think that's tough. It's a tough challenge when you're facing a team like Spain.
Yeah, but that's the other thing that... that's what I said. I think I can't remember if I said to you on this or off off air or whatever, but that I said I don't understand why Spalletti's all of a sudden, when he's got to the tournament, decided we're going to change formation and try. Why didn't they do it in all the build-up? And I understand under a year is not long for an international manager, and completely get that. But at the same time, they changed it last minute to do all this. So I don't know. I just find it really frustrating because I know what they are capable of, and not much else I can say on it.
I was talking to someone who supports Inter, and he told me, why don't they just switch to the 3 at the back? I mean,
which what they were doing before.
There are players in the team that are used to that. Formation, like a 3-5-2 sort of situation.
Well, most of their team, especially like the defenders and that, and that's what I'm saying. I just don't understand why we didn't do that. And he can see it's like, I'm not going to come here and slaughter like Spalletti, but I just don't understand why, when he was seeing it wasn't working, he didn't make any changes to that sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he changed it and it was still going wrong, then fair enough. But he just kept going and going. It's like, right, we're sticking with this, we're sticking with this, we're sticking with these players. If they're not playing well, we're going to try and get them through as further into the game. But I don't know.
I kind of feel lucky. We talked about Mancini starting. I feel that if he definitely would have been carded.
I reckon he'd have got sent off in that sense, because it was so there was hanging back too much.
Yeah, I also think, when you think about what exactly went wrong there in terms of Spain coming forward all the time, it was players on the wing just charging down, and we just couldn't cope with it. But also, Jorginho was ineffective.
No, they all were. But that's what I was saying. Like for me, the obvious thing against Spain when they were attacking was to try and put the ball over to the wings. The amount of times I saw the wingers free and no one near them, and they weren't getting the ball to them, and I just didn't understand why they were trying to go so narrow. So to be honest, I ain't got much else to say on that game. It just really annoyed me, and I think it's time to just leave it in the past and move on and see what happens against Croatia. If they go on, sorry.
I think there's a stat, correct me if I'm wrong, but Italy have never beaten Croatia in a competitive match. But I think this Croatia is a different team. It's on its way out, I think, personally.
But still, I think they can't underestimate them. If they play like they played against Spain, they're not going to do nothing. And if they don't beat Croatia, to be honest, they deserve to be going out. If they end up going out, that is. So I mean, is there anything else you want to say on the game? Because I'm just going to get annoyed if I do. There's not much else I really want to say on it.
I think, I know you're not betting man, and I think people know I certainly am. A couple of years ago, I put money on Spain to win the whole thing. Seeing them yesterday, do you think they can go all the way? Or do you think they were lucky? I personally think they can. I think they can.
I wouldn't call them lucky. I mean, they played their game. I've just felt Italy made them look much better than they by not playing at all. And similar to how Scotland, well, not as bad, but how Scotland did against Germany, where they didn't really do anything. They were just there to be battered. That's how it came across, because you know what I mean. Not that they would. It's just how they were playing. They weren't stringing any passes together. They weren't moving forward. They weren't. They were just there to be beaten. So, in terms of winning tournament, I think it's too hard to say at the moment. They're obviously, they've won both their games, so they're probably going to take it easier against Albania, I reckon. So Italy really, I think, need to win against Croatia just to secure that. But it's difficult to pick a winner at the moment. I don't think there's any standout as such. I think it's one of those things where we need to see more into the knockouts, where someone's picking up. Like, is Spain going to still be consistent through to the knockout stages? I think they're more than likely than they are than Italy at the moment. But well, let's see.
Yeah, I think they're one of the best teams so far.
Yeah.
Just regarding Italy and Croatia, the only thing I want to say here is the gambling sort of, because I swear we're not sponsored by any gambling companies, but I personally think we're going to pick a score. I think Italy 2-0. I think they'll bounce back. I don't think they'll concede.
So. They've got, it's their last chance basically. It's like when the fighters lose, like, you know, I watch MMA and stuff. If they've done 3 rounds and they lose like the second round and they've lost the first 2, they've got no chance unless they do a knockout in the third. It's that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I feel that's the same situation for Italy. Then they're going to have to KO Croatia.
I think it would be a damn shame. It would be a big shame if they do go out.
Yeah.
I think there's so much potential in this team.
Yeah.
I think it would be unfair to fans and to the players themselves if they just get railroaded or knocked out in the next game. So that's why I think 2-0. I think there'll be a bounce back. We know Spalletti is a man of experience.
Yeah, and the team have got
the same team.
The team have got no choice, I think, in the matter, because, like, I mean, they should be fighting even just for their places, let alone for the Italy squad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay. I think about Italy, we'll leave it there. Just to let you know, on the Serie World YouTube, I've started putting some playlists up, and there's loads now. There's loads for what Italy have won. Like, I've put as many videos as I can, like playlists of Italy winning, Italy under 21s winning, Italy under 19s, Italy under 17s, and I'm just moving on to the clubs like that won the Intercontinental Cup, Intertoto Cup, Cup Winners' Cup, etc. Still got quite a few to put on, but I just thought I'd let you know, and then everyone else who wants to look at them, there's videos up there, and eventually we'll have everyone up there and be updating throughout the season as well.
Well, I actually did see those. I was supposed to be going out, and I think I passed about 1 to 2 hours on my phone on the journey looking at those. Came across a cup that I didn't even know that we had played in the past.
Yeah.
It was the Dr.
Gergo.
That's the one.
Which also known as the Central European International Cup.
Yeah, that one.
In the 20s and 30s,
I advise anyone who's looking at those playlists, take a look at that game and tournament. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there, and I'll talk to you soon.
Nice one. Cheers.
All right, bye.
See you. Bye.